this is Veritas Aequitas. What I have on the screen is a declassified National Archives file containing the interrogation of Nazi intelligence general Walter Schellenberg. Schellenberg was the head of foreign intelligence for the Nazis. Before getting into this report, it's important to note that Schellenberg himself said this: "The SS had been organized by Himmler according to the principles of the Jesuit order. The rules and service and spiritual exercises prescribed by Ignatius de Loyola constituted a model which Himmler strove carefully to copy. Absolute obedience was the supreme rule. Every order had to be executed without comment." And this is in Edmund Paris's book, The Vatican Against Europe, and he quotes that out of Le Chef du Contre-Espionnage Nazi Parley. Right there. Schellenberg was also protected by Sir Stuart Menzies, who, according to the military intelligence writer John Loftus, ordered British troops to bring truckloads of Nazi treasure to the Vatican, and also according to Loftus, Menzies allowed Kim Philby to recruit ex-Nazis and escort them secretly through the Vatican to South America. And this is a quote by John Loftus out of his book, Secret War Against the Jews. "It was Menzies who ordered British troops to help the Vatican truck the Nazi treasure into hiding. It was Menzies who gave Nazi intelligence chief Walter Schellenberg and other Nazi negotiators sanctuary in Britain after the war. Menzies also authorized Kim Philby to recruit ex-Nazis as agents and smuggle them through the Vatican to South America." Well, what is revealed by Schellenberg in his interrogation report is a fact proving the preeminent intelligence gathering of the Jesuit order, specifically concerning Nazi intelligence. This is a vital detail that I don't believe has ever been revealed before in the anti-Jesuit, anti-Vatican movement. So on page 24, let me navigate to page 24. Okay, page 24. This gives the details of a Polish spy codenamed Kunsewinks, along with two other Poles working jointly for Poland and for the Japanese. Kunsewinks was arrested in the Berlin Tiergarten at the very moment when he handed to the cook, who was also another spy, a parcel which he had brought with him from Warsaw. The chief of the Polish desk of Abteilung III of the RSHA was then Kubicki, who collaborated with Rolander, who then worked in 3F of Canaris's Abwehr. The parcel which Kunsewinks had handed to the cook, who had received it on behalf of the Japanese, contained toothpaste and a clothes brush, which in turn contained microphotographs embracing the whole of a German invasion preparations against Russia. These photographs, when enlarged, later filled not less than 3 volumes. They had been made by the Polish professor in Warsaw. And if we scroll up, we see who this guy Kunsewinks was answering to, who his masters were. At the start of the section here, it says, Schellenberg gave a detailed account of the case concerning the Pole, Kunsewinks, who with 2 other Poles worked against the Russians for the Japanese, and provided their taskmasters with the complete German invasion plan against Russia. Kunsewinks' lines led to the Polish Major Peter in Stockholm who worked for the Japanese military attaché there called Ondera, and to the Jesuit General Lidowski in Rome. So the Jesuit general had access down to the smallest detail of the whole plan of the German invasion of Russia. This was in 1941 when Kunzewinks was arrested, and the book Target Corinth Canal by Platon Alexandes shows that Schellenberg convinced Kunzewinks to work for German intelligence after his arrest. It says here, Schellenberg claimed to have convinced him to work for German intelligence in Russia and thereby saved his life, though he lost trace of him in 1945. But in my estimation, this Kunzewinks, since he was working for the Japanese, who were allied with the Nazis at the time, was already working for the Nazis, and his arrest was the result of lower level guys catching him who weren't privy to the plans to share this intelligence. And to drive that home, Gerald Posner, who's a best-selling New York Times author and a Pulitzer Prize nominee, he wrote in his books God's Bankers. He wrote in God's Bankers that this was a German spy. Let me get the exact quote for you here. Okay, this is on page 533 in the notes section of God's Bankers, citation 97. It says, quote, German intelligence managed to place an agent in Ledachowski's inner circle. See report of interrogation on Walter Schellenberg. So, that aligns with my contention that Kunzewinks was already working for the Nazis to give intelligence to the Jesuit general. Just to be comprehensive, here's some other sources that write about Ledachowski receiving the German invasion plans of Russia. This is from Hitler's Last Chief of Foreign Intelligence by Reinhard R. Dories. It says in Stockholm it was delivered to the Japanese military attaché on Odera, from whence it was forwarded by a certain Polish intelligence liaison officer called Peter to the center of the Polish resistance movement in Stockholm. However, despite attempted investigations, the Germans never succeeded in finding out any details about this resistance center or about the subsequent uses to which this material was put. In Rome, the intelligence material was passed to the Jesuit General Ladowski, and at the time it was assumed that it was required for the Vatican Intelligence Service, but here again nothing definite was established. And here's another book, also by Reinhard Dories, called Hitler's Intelligence Chief, Walter Schellenberg. It says, besides the Poles in Germany, in Sweden, and the Japanese, there was a further, though slightly more unusual recipient of the information, these plans of the invasion, namely the Jesuit General Władimir Ledachowski in Rome.